Let me use a little technology here. Hey! Let's see what we have here.
So much. Thank you so much for making me a part of your great.
Don't be mad at me.
You have so many around the country and around the world. I think this one is particularly special. The third time I've been here, the third time via Skype. Yes, I know. I apologize to you and your audience that I was unable to make it in person, but I'm still here via the magic of the internet and this connection to you right now. So again, part of the show, here in spirit, joining you via Skype. You know what? Hold on, folks. I made a decision. I'm going to flip-flop yet again. I have decided that I will actually teleport myself via technology. Right now into this great theater. George, I'm coming.
Alex, are you there? Jeez, did he make it? Alex! Texas.
That is insane. And I'll tell you, George had the idea about 2 weeks ago for me to claim that I couldn't make it, him and Dan Heiser, as a joke, that I'd show up, come down, and then I couldn't find my passport, barely made it, so the joke became real. I landed about 2.5 hours ago, so that is crazy. What a badass audience!
I called her up and I said, Mom, I'm going to be in Toronto, you're in Detroit, come on up and see me, would you? And she said, well, who are you going to have as guests? I said, well, Alex Jones. She said, I'll be there.
Wow. Well, what a great woman giving birth to this prolific guy. What is it, 3-time Emmy Award-winning news producer?
That's right.
George Noory right here, ladies and gentlemen.
So years ago, some guy calls me on Coast to Coast and he said, look, you ought to have this guy named Alex Jones on your show. And that's exactly what I said. Who? He said, no, you have to give him a listen. Infowars.com and go, you can listen. So I did. And I would hear this guy, this true patriot, saying things that we all believe, but many of us are just too afraid to say it. But he's not. So I put him on our show.
You did. Yep, absolutely.
And here he is. In the flesh, Alex Jones.
Here we are in Toronto, baby. I'm going to come back up here. I've been to Canada quite a few times, but Toronto is so beautiful. How cold is that lake, though?
Well, that's Lake Ontario out there.
Is that too cold for me to get in? Because I'm going to set my ass down there tomorrow.
It's a beautiful lake. Knowing Alex, he'll walk across it.
Oh, yeah, with George. Man, amazing. Nick Pope, though, talking about all that stuff, the Vatican and UFOs and everything.
You don't get into UFOs much, do you?
Well, the public won't admit to themselves on average, like admitted congressional documents, so I don't have to admit stuff like that, but yeah. But you cover it a lot, so I listen. That's why I tune into that.
I was in Austin, Texas several years ago at an event with Alex. And our affiliate there is KLBJ, so I did the show live there that Friday night. And after the show, and Alex was my guest in the studio,
I tried to kill George.
Alex brings me...
I held him down in the water pool.
He brings me a 6-pack of beer. And so after the show, Mom, cover your ears. After the show, we're walking outside, and somebody had kept the sprinklers on, like, all night long.
It was me.
I thought there was like 2 inches of water. Instead, I stepped in a 2-foot puddle. And I go right down. Splat. Alex catches me. Tommy's laughing. I'm full of mud. And we have this event the next day. It's on YouTube, by the way. Just Google search.
And the conspiracy
George
Noory.
The next day, I give Tom some money. I say, Tom, you got to go get some new clothes for me. I'm all muddy. I'm soaked. I can't go to the event. I'm on the 15th floor of this hotel. Windows are wide open. I'm stark nude, waiting for Tommy to bring me my clothes, and up comes window washers. And you know what? They didn't flinch an eye. They just kept cleaning the windows. Alex, I call you 2 things. A bulldog, because once you bite, you don't let go. Right? And truly, an American patriot.
Yeah. Well, you're too nice. I'm just flattered to be around all these great folks tonight.
And now I can call you a Canadian patriot.
I love Canada. I think Canada should annex the United States.
You know what? They're great neighbors. When you live in a house, how many of us really even know who our neighbors are? Not a lot of people. Those days are gone. The old days where you sit in a lawn chair with your neighbor out front in the garage, they're over. Canadians are the best neighbors on this planet.
Here's to Canada.
Before we get rolling with Alex, I've got to play a video because I want to ask you about this.
Sure.
Alex, as I am, we're supporters of our rights to carry arms. And he was invited to appear on the former Larry King show with Piers Morgan. Piers, of course, he ain't there anymore. Let's take a look at this clip.
1776! Because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago. Tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall mugging, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again. If you try to take all firearms, doesn't matter how many liberals you get out there on the street, we will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail in the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that. Because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic. Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right. You can go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one, oh, that's a big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you.
Oh, gotta cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists, psychologists who put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
If you ever do that to me.
No, you tear me up. He's reading off a teleprompter, George. You don't do that.
Of course, Piers is no longer with us.
That was the beginning of his long decline, yeah.
When you were invited, that producer who brought you in, and by the way, you did a great job.
Oh, well, thank you.
What happened to that producer?
I think they got rid of him.
Piers Morgan had no idea what he was going to get.
And they said, do it. Go. I said, well, I'm going to attack you. And they said, go ahead. And I said, okay. It's supposed to be 3 segments. They punched out at 2. They were like, they wanted to fight me at the end. They had guys like all bowed up ready to fight. I said, listen, we're just debating.
Did he thank you afterwards? Shake your hand? What happened?
He basically shit his pants. Sorry for that.
That's okay, folks. We got a 40-second delay button. Oh, that's the radio.
Yeah. No, he did. He was just freaked out. Someone asked him, because I didn't go on his script. I actually put my points out. But I had no idea that would happen.
He is so opposed to guns, and you just tore him up.
Well, what's funny about Piers Morgan is, it came out in the news, he has the most expensive bodyguards in the country. I couldn't afford him. We couldn't afford him. Something like $500,000 a year to have him. He has armed bodyguards in L.A. in his house. Full-time, guys with guns. And then a number he can call where armored vehicles and helicopters show up. You can look this up. It's called like Armed Response. He has like the most badass mercenary group ready. People at his house with guns. But those of us that can't afford it, we can't have a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? He's a hypocrite. So that's just ridiculous. The guy had like some $10 million a year contract at CNN. He was spending probably 10% of it on armed bodyguards, but then he sits around going, how dare you want to have a gun to protect yourself? This is outrageous. Look, if you don't want a gun, that's fine, I get it. And guns cause some problems as well. But at the end of the day, we've got to respect individuals' rights to make their own decisions.
Absolutely. Wasn't Rosie O'Donnell the same way? Opposed to guns, but her bodyguard watching her kids had guns?
It came out that she has like 2 bodyguards at once that are armed. The worst guy, and I'm not attacking him because of his politics, just he's a hypocrite, is Michael Moore. And I have video of this. In like 2004 at the RNC in New York, I was covering it, and he was in a restaurant eating. It was down the day, right off the main track of the RNC, and they said, Michael Moore's in there. And he had 6 bodyguards with him. And I was filming him when he came out. They were like bumping me and hitting me. So I went ahead and punched one of them back. I was like, you're going to hit me, I'm going to punch you. He couldn't believe I punched him back. And, but later it came out he has 6 bodyguards armed because one of them got arrested in an airport with a gun. So he's got 6 armed bodyguards, George, but you or I, who are public figures, but want to protect ourselves, we should be able to. Why can he have armed bodyguards, but we can't protect ourselves?
When Alex was born,
So black pig, America, if you want your fucking gun.
Whoa! Hey, we're what's big government's having to do this. I like that. I got out in the South Park all of a sudden.
but because of America,
I'm promoting guns, I'm so evil.
because of America and Canada, he has the right to say that, right?
Yay, free speech. Hey, I agree with you, sir. I I think you have a right to live in Southside Chicago or New York or DC and have 8 locks on your door and sit there when somebody starts knocking down the door. You crap all over the floor, put on big pink diapers, whatever. I agree with your right to not be armed and not defend yourself. But I have a right to defend myself and my family. Under galactic rule. The great alien says so.
Did you know that if they took the guns from every law-abiding citizen, that the criminals would still be armed?
Milk?
They would get their guns. The black trade market for weaponry is huge, folks.
Look at Mexico. Mexico has a total ban on guns for civilians, and then they've got the highest crime rate in the world, 110,000 people dead in the last 7-8 years. And now the government's saying, let's arm local citizens to stop it. The head of Interpol 3 years ago, with a terrible attack on the shopping mall in Kenya, said, I guess it's time to arm the citizens. It's time to arm the good people. And even if you're against the Second Amendment or the right to keep bear arms, I understand that. There's going to be some problems. But statistically, it's better to arm the general public because the criminals aren't going to follow the law.
Yes, he's right. Every kid involved in a mass shooting in the United States has been on some mind-altering drug or prescription drug.
Well, George,
Every kid.
when you were first on, you were already on the air on the radio and TV decades ago. When you first got on, like 2002, syndicated on one of the biggest radio shows in the world, probably the second or first largest, you would actually talk about Prozac, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and have medical doctors on saying it causes psychotic breaks, mass murder killing. A few years after you covered that, they had to change the labels and admit that it can cause that. So the fact is, this is not a conspiracy theory, it's a fact. And also, not to kiss George's butt, but it's the power of
go ahead.
No, exactly. And there you go. Mwah. But the truth is, the power of a venue for the people to be heard, guests to be heard, so much of what he talks about. I mean, I remember like in 2003, they had this Model States Health Emergency Powers Act to set the law in the U.S., but also Canada was going to follow suit, to forcibly inoculate people. And George spearheaded that with his listeners and stopped it. So the good news is the people have a voice and they're taking action. And this is the heart of resisting tyranny and promoting human liberty. And I salute all of you for being here tonight.
The next thing we're going to do, Alex, is we're going to get our power grid insulated against an EMP attack. That's a nuke in the atmosphere.
Or a Carrington.
Or a sun flare, a solar flare that could just wipe out the power grid. And it could happen, and it most likely will. Alex, who are you waving at?
And Tom Danhauser, my boyfriend. I'm joking. He's over there, thumbs up. I was saying hi to him.
No wonder Tom wanted you here in Toronto.
Of all the folks that helped InfoWars reach the most people, George, you were there. Right, we were already reaching a huge amount of people. But nobody in mainstream radio would have me on, and you did it. I know behind the scenes there was some major corporate pressure not to do it. But right as you'd already got the brass ring of the big talk show host and had gotten the ratings, proven your success, George had me on. So I admire him for that because we reached a lot more people than this story today.
So let's talk Donald Trump.
All right. Well, Donald,
Isn't this amazing
deal with it.
that it's happening?
You're fired.
And the public, you missed my Donald Trump ring. Do you still have it? Where's the guy who got it when I tossed it? Do you have it with you?
I think Donald
Come up here,
Trump,
let Alex see your wig. I was wearing the Donald Trump wig for a while.
he's like a blonde possum.
Yeah, wait till he sees it. He'll come up here. Where is he? Here he is. He's coming up. Put it on.
I'm the first person to expose the fact
It's
that
Gary, right?
Donald Trump is actually a transgender.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, come up the steps for a second. Donald, have a seat next to Alex for a few minutes.
Mr. Trump, am I fired?
Actually, very privileged to meet you, Mr. Jones.
Well, thank you, Mr. Trump. It's a very nice ginger wig you have there.
This is all, by the way, unrehearsed, folks.
No teleprompters, as you can see.
You know, you actually look like Val Kilmer, the actor. Yeah,
I've actually
you do,
known that,
doesn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is here. Donald Trump, what's your economic policy?
All right, let's see. What's the economic policy for the year?
I'm actually quite successful, and I've done quite good, actually.
Let's see. We gotta forget about Rand Paul. No one's ever heard of Rand Paul or Ron Paul for that matter. You're all fired, and I want you all to.
He's not bad.
Give me money. I will be Emperor Trump for all of you.
Well, I'm voting
Thank you, Mr. Trump. You may go back to your
Emperor
chair.
Trump. Thank you, Emperor Trump. Good job.
He's trouncing the other Republican candidates. Why? He has no political background. Maybe that's why.
Well, you know, George, people think he's an outsider. I'm not attacking him. I think he's better than some of the candidates like Jeb or Hillary, but he's posing as an outsider. He tells it like it is. He doesn't back off. He doesn't apologize. People are sick of all the mealy-mouthed garbage. And because there's a major political realignment, not just here. Look at the stock market, down 900 plus points the last 3 days. I mean, the global meltdown you've been talking about, George, is here. And we're not talking about it because we hope for it. We're talking about it to warn about it, to stop it.
Worse since 2008.
Yes.
And it hasn't stopped yet.
Now, it's just a start.
With Trump, is he going to fade out, or is he going to keep this momentum going?
You know, I mean, I think Trump really means what he's doing, whether he's good or bad. He's going for it all. And in the polls, he doesn't do as good as some of the more moderate, like Rand Paul or whatever. But Hillary might go to prison. She might get indicted for all the Gaza stuff. Absolutely. So who knows? I mean, all I know is that maybe it's good to be an egomaniac. Maybe he wants, because he makes his money off a prosperous economy. A lot of these globalists want a post-industrial economy, a post-service economy, so they don't want things going well. Donald Trump sees his profits going down. Maybe he wants to really try to get America going again. I don't know. I think we should watch him, not trust him.
Can you make a prediction yet? Too early.
Well, I'll make a prediction. This is going to be one hell of an election, and they talk about periods in history where more happens in a year or two than happened in the previous 20 or 30. We're in a critical juncture of major change right now, and nobody better say things are boring, because just amazing things are happening every single day. We've got front row seats to a new beginning in Valhalla, or maybe the apocalypse, so get ready.
The machine wants Jeb Bush and Hillary.
Hillary for
The machine,
president!
90% of the money is Jeb Bush and Hillary. And notice the public is like rejecting it. And it shows the arrogance of the elite. Why don't they allow the public to actually vote on somebody else? It just shows they're disconnected from reality. They think they own us. And history shows that the establishment, the elite, do not own the people. It's like trying to hold a beach ball down underwater. The longer you do it, the more it's going to explode with force. The human enlightenment is here. The second renaissance is upon us. Infinity and beyond. To quote Buzz Lightyear.
And Hillary is actually going to get the nomination, the Democratic nomination.
Yeah, because
She was here earlier too.
she's threatened all the other candidates. I make the milk jokes. My kids are watching this online right now, and it's just a simple, silly joke. I go, milk.
Is Hillary still here?
Good to be simple. Now, Hillary is going to be our big
Is
mommy.
Hillary? Come on up, Hillary.
Like Kali, she's going to give us the milk.
Hillary's.
Look at this. All I know is I am honored to be all of these great Canadian fans here. Well, I'm not normally into men, but Hillary's hot. Come on over here, Hillary. How you doing, baby? Gee, how big your eyes are. Did you have that baby, or was that actually Clinton's baby? Have you used other illicit drugs, or do you pledge allegiance to the Galactic Goblin?
I could tell you, but then maybe they'd have to kill you.
She talks like her.
Hillary Clinton is an amazing individual.
Thank you, Hillary. Appreciate it.
George, I didn't know we'd have all these amazing guests on this night.
They're all here. They all came because they knew you were here. So, too early to predict. Is that what you're saying?
You know, I agree with you. They've got Hillary, they've got Jeb Bush, all the money, 90% of the money they've made is going to those two. So that's who the establishment wants, but the public is rejecting them. So it's quite a mess. I mean, I don't like Bernie Sanders being a socialist, but at least he's a real person. I don't agree with Jesse Ventura on a lot of issues, but at least he's a real person. I don't agree with some of the things that are being pushed by some of the other Republican candidates, but at least they're not the individual personality being pushed by the corporate board. So I say anybody but Bush or Clinton. How's that sound?
I agree. I want change.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like North Korea where we have Kim Jong-il's dad and Kim Jong-un, and we're not supposed to just trade the presidency between two families.
How many of you Canadians really watch what's going on in American politics? I bet if I asked an American crowd that same question about Canada, I'd get maybe 3 people applying. That's amazing. You're so educated at what happens in America.
Yeah, I don't want to bash.
Big difference.
I don't want to bash my contemporary Americans, but truth is truth. I've been all over the world, and it's very sad that Americans were some of the most inventive, smart people, and still on average, there's a lot of great people there. But Americans have the lowest level of passports. They hardly travel, and they literally think the whole planet is the United States. And it's very, very saddening that they don't know what's going on outside the world. And then when I talk to somebody from Italy or Russia or South Africa or Mexico, they're more informed about what's happening in the U.S. than my American compatriots. It's very, very sad. So it is a fact that people think that they are elite. They think they're exceptional. They're living off what their grandfathers and grandmothers did, and it's pathetic. And so that's why I criticize my fellow Americans to get their heads out of their rear ends and realize there's a whole world here, and a whole universe, and stop thinking it revolves around you.
Absolutely.
Only because the elite use that to control you.
And speaking of the elite, let's look at this short video, and then I want to ask you some questions about it. Here we go. The New World Order.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are on the verge of the new Renaissance. We are on the verge of so much good. If we just realize that they've taken over the churches, they've taken over the culture, they have literally poisoned the society. You have too much coffee. That guy's an extremist right there.
We've been to Starbucks a couple too many times.
He didn't put enough milk in it.
Tell me about the New World Order. Who are these people, Alex?
The globalists are cold-blooded psychopaths and sociopaths that know how to control society, have no empathy, and are building a planetary technocracy they believe will give them life extension technology to basically be gods. Reptiles. And that's the most, well, they might as well be reptiles. And that's the point I wanted to make. The big announcement tonight from all my research is that it's sterling clear in our face. Aliens are real. But by that I mean, as you said earlier, or as Nick Pope said earlier, you were talking to him, as Arthur C. Clarke actually stated, technology that we see today to somebody 50 years ago would be magic. And so when they can have a salmon 3 times the size of a normal salmon that's part insect, or they can have glow-in-the-dark rhesus monkeys that are part jellyfish, or they can have 100 different genetic changes in corn and have it grow pharmacological crops. These are aliens that have already been produced on our Earth. When they're putting baby brains in rats and making them super rats, that's beyond alien. So humans have already basically created new species, new zoological combinations on this Earth, and we've basically reached this Atlantean moment. Whether Atlantis was real, that Plato wrote about 2,400 years ago as if it was real, whether Atlantis existed or not, and I believe it did, you're an expert on it, George, so is your audience, they reached this point where they had technology and a reactor for free energy that blew up their island and destroyed their society and damaged the entire Earth for hundreds of years and put so much dust into the air that there was a new ice age. Now, whether that was real or not, wow, it was prophetic, because now society, the world, the elite have reached what appears to be the Atlantean moment, whether we will export this technology to space where it can safely be tested, or we're going to destroy our planet and die as a species. We have come to this moment. So whether aliens are real, the different dimensions, all that, whatever, It's all real now. What we've done is so fantastical, it can't be imagined in Jules Verne's incredible mind 100 years ago. We are the future. We're living in epic times. Every minute is amazing, and it's a gift from God to be alive and conscious and to be sharing it with all of you. And George Noory. You say, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. From Toronto, Canada, George Noory.
Long, he's really a calm guy.
You've done well, Lord Vader.
All right, folks, line up for questions with Alex.
Oh, let's get ready to rumble.
Ask the question, then please go back to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, my producer and event producer, Tom Danheiser. Tommy? Where did Alex go?
I'm here.
I don't know, man, but he's flipping us off. There's
There's a
Alex.
criminal.
There he is. All right, we got people lined up for questions.
Fellow thought criminal, Tom Danheiser.
Here we go. Let us start with you, sir. Go ahead.
Maybe on the air here in Toronto.
I need to.
Okay, thank you. What do you think? You gonna get on the air in Canada?
I need to be as big as George Noory first. I think it's up to you guys. Thank you for asking.
You're open to that, though.
Admiral, absolutely. Whoever wants to pick it up, pick it up. Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, I'm president of the Toronto Private Property Rights Association, and my question is, would you accept this book?
I would. You're the president of the organization what's private property? How evil.
A chapter of the Ontario Landowners Association.
Wow, eco-fascist. I've heard of this book.
Yes.
Did you write this?
No, I didn't, but I work with this woman.
Well, good job.
And
How
I think we should
radical conservation is destroying our natural heritage. Absolutely, the big banks are financing it all. God bless you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm humble and
interviewed her.
accepted.
She's a great woman, and
George, you should interview her too. George is a lot better than I am.
Elizabeth
Thank you.
Dixon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi Alex, welcome to Toronto. You're great. We love the work that you do. Keep it up, 100 speed. And there's so much talk on the internet and on the waves about what's going to happen this September, 10 days from now. We've got everything from the Shemitah to the Pope speaking at the UN. We've got the stock market collapsing right now. What do you expect to see in the next 30 to 40 days?
Sure. I've been politically involved for 25 years. And I've been on air 21 years, pretty much, almost 21 years. And I've heard all this talk about this date, that date, but I've never seen so much aligning right now. And I'm not saying something big's happening the 24th or whatever, but I have had a lot of financial experts on that said the stock market would start melting down last Thursday or Friday. You notice it started. I mean, I've had a bunch of guests on that said within 2 weeks ago, it would start. And it's engineered to bring in a world government. So I don't know what's coming this September or October, but I know everything is aligning right now for big events, good, bad, you name it. We're in an epic time right now. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I just cover what I can prove and what I can, document. But I remember hearing 2 years ago about September 2015 and just going, rolling my eyes and people emailing me say, how dare you not cover this? And I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not psychic. So I can't go off stuff I can't prove, but yes, it does look like a lot of stuff's coming in the month of September, October. I mean, this is just an amazing time to be alive. So thanks for that question.
They say, Alex, every 7 years, the Jewish Shemitah, that some tragedy occurs.
Well, I should ask you.
Every 7 years.
You're the one telling us for me. What do you think's going on? People are freaking out.
Go back to 9/11, 2001, the financial debacle, 2008. And now we're coming up on September of 2015, and the stock market dropping 1,000 points, oil going under $40 a barrel. Of course, we'll never see that, right? We won't see that discount.
Yeah, we don't get
But
that.
something is out there, something's afoot, and we've had experts on who think that September is going to be the month.
Well, you've been saying that for a couple of years, and look, all hell is breaking loose now. 900, maybe it was almost 990 points the last 3 days.
Just one day.
Yeah, just one day.
350 the day before.
Yeah, so well, what is it, over 1,000? I mean, I don't know. I have all these financial experts on, they all say the same thing, and it happens. I wish they were wrong.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, man.
Do not put the Canadian flag on the floor.
Yay!
So, Alex, I'm thinking about the EPA and what they did to that river. I'm thinking about the latest explosion in China where they're saying there's cyanide that's been released into the atmosphere. We got Fukushima 5 years ago, it's still going strong. We got the Gulf of Mexico disaster. Fracking. Why are the elites hell-bent on poisoning everything? They
Sure.
get their hands on.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I never doubted God. Thank you. Great question. I never doubted God's existence, but when you see the elite trying to kill the planet and creating distractionary environmental things we should obsess over, when they're killing the planet, and you see them doing things you know are hurting the planet, it really makes you ask, what is the end game? And there just is, listen, they seem to only build nuclear reactors on fault lines. And then they tell us, oh, it's not bad for you when they're leaking or there's a problem. So, George, what do you think's going on?
I'm going to let you in on many of you already know this, but it's the secret question to determine everything that happens on this planet. Whenever anything happens, ask yourself who benefits. And you will find the answer. It's out there. Who benefits?
So who benefits from Fukushima?
Who benefits from Fukushima? Who benefits from 9/11? Who benefits from any kind of tragedy that occurs on this planet? Look at those, ask that question, and then go to find the answer, and you will get it.
Sir, go ahead. You're next. They're in the camera.
All right.
And again, thank you for serving, sir. Thank you.
It was a privilege. It was a long time ago, and it was a privilege. When I look at what's occurring right now, I see the President of the United States bringing a contract home and taking it to the UN. I see him having it ratified there, and I think, did somebody usurp the American government? Did the Congress and Senate give up their power of authority to ratify agreements? Or is he going behind our back to say, you're no longer relevant? As an expatriate who fought for that country, I am shocked, and I don't hear the press talking about this matter, but it's kind of like, for instance, our Prime Minister going to Cuba to get something passed and agreed to, and then bringing it back home. I wonder if the government of the United States realizes, and the people realize, they've just been usurped.
That's the best question.
It's called TPP, which we have not been allowed, it's already passed.
Secret.
We can't read it. They won't allow the Americans to read what
Well,
this
that's
is.
globalism. What this man just raised, George, you mentioned TPP, is our parliaments, our congresses have been bought off because these presidents, prime ministers wouldn't do this if they didn't know they had backing. So they just go agree to it internationally, it's secret, and then our governments sign on to it and won't let us see it. If that isn't tyrannical government, what is? And he raises the point. I mean, even if they were doing something good, it's secret, we don't have a say.
Anything that's secret is not good.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Alex. We've all seen how you've done such a great job in raising your son, Rex.
Thank you, brother.
Just wondering, how would you recommend to introduce the topics of the New World Order and such to your own children? At what stage?
Oh, that's a
how
good
would you
question.
do that?
Oh, that's a good
And
question.
a tough question.
I can write a book on that.
That's a tough question.
Well, you've had children and grandchildren. You can tell them, George. But
Christy's out there. She's a toughie.
Well, I want to hear your answer. I'll just briefly say this. The system tells you don't tell your children about danger. It'll scare them. And that's because the system wants to be the father or the mother. I think you tell them when they're 5, 6, 7 years old, hey, historically, look at these historical examples. Governments and institutions become corrupt. All that matters at the end of the day is standing up for what's right, doing what's right, and your family is key. They will always back you up. Some folks aren't blessed with a good family, but still, if you've got a good family, that's what comes first. and that's where your loyalty's got to be. And if you explain to children that the system is out to get them, and explain it, they will stop rebelling against you. But you better, here's the rest of the story though. You tell your kids about vaccines, fluoride, New World Order, people out to get them, they will absolutely follow you, but you better be a leader, you better not screw them around, you better be there for them. Because they'll turn against you in a minute. Your kids are ready to follow you, but you better be a leader.
Good man. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Alex. Thank you very much.
Hey Alex, and I know you're the real deal because I was watching Group in McCullough, and then I started listening to you, and you know you have a lot of great political information and everything. I'm just wondering because I didn't even know the guy before. You had a caller on Friday before, and then you had David Duke on Tuesday. I was just wondering if you could comment on him. Like I didn't even know about David Duke or whatever. I don't even really think. But then,
well, that's a good question.
I know you guys didn't include the video on your, and like I know the people on the comment section, they got. I was just wondering if you could comment on that.
Sure. I mean, I interview controversial people and try to actually reach out humanity-wise, whether they be a black supremacist, white supremacist, whatever it is, to try to sell them on working for humanity, space travel, free energy, the next level. And that's why I had him on. And the show was on, and then he was on for like 2 hours, and he said he was censored when he had more time than I did. So at that point, I was like, you know, that's dishonest. So
you just not include the video.
the whole video is posted on. The whole video is that's not
true.
true. That's not true. See, that's what I mean. These fundamental lies. The whole video is on PrisonPlanet.tv.
It's still there.
The whole thing's there.
That's it.
On the Alex Jones channel was on there. I don't know.
Well,
everyone saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that interview went well, so I didn't promote it, but I certainly had it.
I didn't even know who David Duke was.
Okay, thanks.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
It's
I had him on to try to get him to admit that the eugenicists of Margaret Sanger and others funded programs of exterminism. That's why I had him on, was to reach out and try to get his audience to realize what was going on. It's a complex issue.
Yeah, I think he thought maybe somebody forced you to yank it or something. It's still there.
Well, that's when he was on. He talked for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
You know, I interrupt a lot. He talked 10 minutes, and they go, "You just censored me."
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Screw you. You know, and I didn't do that. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Alex. Thanks very much for being here. What's the next documentary film you're going to be working on, and is your life still being threatened on a daily basis?
You know, I need to put out more films. I got too neurotic about making a perfect film, and I've been making a documentary for 5 years, and I've never released it. Obama Deception 2. And it's not about Obama, it's just about the politicians are all controlled at that level. But I am trying, but I make new films every day, and the mini documentaries, the nightly news when George comes on. But I'm gonna make a new film soon, brother.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, Alex. I'm Willie. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm just curious, with Hillary Clinton and all their email scandals, and if the globalists think that she can't win, or she can't win the nomination, at least for a Democratic party there, they might drop Hillary out and bring in someone like, say, Joe Biden or Al Gore to scare the people with human global warming and
to get us Jeb Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Or try to get some kind of carbon tax in there.
You know, that's a really important question. Look, here's what I found in my political involvement, and I don't have all the answers. George, quite frankly, has more knowledge and wisdom than I do, and I want his take on this. We tend to think that evil has all the power, myself included, and that they're the only ones that can act in the universe and not work in the light, as George has talked about what his family name means. The truth is, good people have as much power or more as evil. They wanted to push Jeb, they wanted to push Hillary. They're both falling, they're both in trouble. Doesn't mean the other candidates are perfect, doesn't mean they're all saints. It means the public is rejecting the establishment candidates. And absolutely, Hillary has been exposed for Benghazi, exposed for the emails. She's in deep trouble. And that, just like Nixon getting in trouble, is a good thing because it scares the other crooks. I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't have a crystal ball. But when I get sources in the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, I mean, some of the biggest whistleblowers there are come on your show, come on my show, the people in government on average, are some of the best people you'd ever find. That's why I've changed my tune the last decade from just being totally against the government to realizing, no, the government's a reflection of us, and we aren't supporting the good people in government that want to promote freedom. And so it really comes down to us. But the fact that Hillary and Jeb are being so universally rejected shows that there's a huge awakening. George, do you agree?
Not only that, I am convinced that though it's going to be a tough road, good will win. Trust me.
Damn right.
It'll win.
And evil knows that.
Of course they know it. And they're desperate. And they want to move quickly. But good will win. Yes, sir.
Alex, thanks for coming to Toronto. We love to have you here. It's really, for all of us, something amazing because you're bringing something to the world that very few are doing, and your whole team is doing it. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I'm here because of George. I'm not kissing his ass. When this guy had me on 14 years ago, nobody else would do it with a platform like his. I mean, that's a trailblazer. And what I respect is people, like Mark Twain said, in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce man, hated, feared, and scorned. But in time, when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot. And George doesn't want the attention. But let me tell you, this guy helped me reach at least another 10 million people, so I want to give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Alex. I apologize. Go ahead. Let's get ready to rumble. The question I had for you was about the TPP and Agenda 21. Now that TPP has been passed, and we really don't have any say in where it goes forward, how do we change things? What can we do to affect Agenda 21 and its impact on us as combined with TPP? Because obviously it's a corporate takeover of the world, so where do we go from here?
God, these people have got the best questions. What's your name, sir?
Dale.
Dale just asked, what do we do to expose a bunch of foreign corporations in a secret agreement with our government and others? Canada's involved for the TPP when we've had 3 parts of it leaked out of 28, and it's just total tyranny. We expose it. England and the UK was brought under the EU 20-something years ago under the Maastricht Treaty secretly. They just now know they're under a secret treaty, and 90-something% of their laws, 92%, are now made by the EU unelected. Knowing, as G.I. Joe says, is half the battle. And so the fact that we're taught, there's no world government, there's no secret corporation, the fact that we know about it is the beginning of the end. And so we say, hey, I thought Ottawa and the elected representatives made our laws. They work for me, not some TPP, not some NAFTA, not some GAF, not some transatlantic treaty. So you're standing up now. You say, what do? You came to an event. You're speaking up. Millions are going to watch this and hear it on the internet. You've already done what it takes. Because the truth is, it's not like Hollywood where you win some battle like that. You win it by putting your will, like in an in a mixed martial arts fight, leaning up against somebody with your will. It takes who wants to win. And the fact that you're here talking about this is why we're winning, brother.
Perfect. Now they're telling me the clock is ticking, so let's take one more question.
Hi, Alex and George.
But Alex and I will meet you outside for the meeting.
Absolutely, I'm going to be out there.
We're not going anywhere, folks. Go ahead.
I'm a subscriber to Prison Planet TV and Coast to Coast AM. I'm also a subscriber of Rents.com. Just wondering if you would ever consider having a debate with Jeff Rents. I really admire him a lot. And also, do you have any time tonight to talk about the satanic pedophilia scandal that seems just to be going everywhere? It's just extremely disturbing.
It is disgusting and disturbing, to be sure. We won't have time tonight, but it is a major story.
I mean, there are these criminal networks that get people involved in really bad stuff to control them. I'd love to debate or interview anybody. That's what we do. You know, controversy gets people thinking. All I know is it has been amazing to come to Toronto. I've been to Canada many times, but never Toronto. What a beautiful city. And I can't wait to meet you guys outside. Every man and woman out here. Let's shake hands.
Let's hear it for Alex Jones.
Let's hear it for the whole Coast to Coast AM family.
Hold on. Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Alex. Take care.